to the Cuttercast Vlogcast. My name is Seth Larson, and on today's episode, we are recapping our day 2 turkey hunt in Kansas with the boys from 180 Outdoors. Now the audio's quite a bit better, so that's a bonus right there. We've got some pretty good stories. You're probably gonna find yourself laughing. If not, you don't have a sense of humor, and yours truly may or may not have tagged out. So if you want to hear that story and a few more really good ones, you might want to tune in. And don't forget, we're coming out with a video of this hunt just shortly after these episodes, so make sure to keep a lookout for that on the Canvas Cutter YouTube channel. And don't forget, if you want a really fun turkey hunt next spring, or you want to go whitetail hunting or go waterfowl hunting, check out 180 Outdoors. Their facility is amazing. The lodge is 5 stars and their properties are unreal. So check them out. And without further ado, here's our day 2 recap of our Kansas turkey hunt with 180 Outdoors. All right, folks. Welcome to the Cuttercast. We're just getting set down right now. We've got a Instagram live going on. Everybody's mic'd up. John's talking to his familia, so he'll probably be out here in a minute. But I don't know about you guys, but day 2 here at 180 Outdoors in Kansas was something special.
Don't you know?
For who? Special.
For who?
You know, yours truly. Yours truly. Actually, I think we all had a special day.
Yeah.
In one way or another.
It was very special.
In one way or another.
I got
all of us
amazing
had
cake.
Amazing cake.
Yes.
Okay, so it was a special
the
day.
food tonight was incredible.
The food
as well.
was incredible.
Friggin' bomb.
So awesome. So delish.
Just another little feather in the cap from 180 Outdoors.
Yeah.
Yeah. They made dinner for us.
Is that a turkey
Brought it
bone?
over, and it was amazing.
It was delish.
I liked it.
Another little feather in the fan.
Well, here's a feather in the quiver. This story that I have. This morning was pretty awesome.
Let's hear about your morning.
So Matt Lyman, who's our guide, had gone out a few days before we had even arrived with his kids to a spot, and he had done a little calling, and he's an incredible caller. We're going to be doing a podcast with him tomorrow, and folks,
he's half turkey.
Dude, I'm not joking. I've listened to him all day long today call, and it's just like, wow. The sounds that he makes with a diaphragm call is just insane, effortlessly. So anyways, he took his kids, they called some birds, got a bunch of gobbles, and so he knew there was turkeys in there, and that's where we were going to go this morning. And we got there in the dark. They usually roost about 60 yards onto a property that we don't hunt, but he said they always fly out of the roost, run down this tree line, and they'll go down like this fire break and pop out on this like peninsula place. Let's go over there. They'll show up for sure. So we go there and we get set up in the dark, and we're just sitting there, and it starts to get light, and nothing, no gobbles, some crows flying around, and Matt gets up, and he's like walking around, and he does, I don't know if it was a crow call or an owl hoot. I think it was an owl hoot. Nothing, no gobble, no reaction. And he came back kind of bugged. He's like, I know there's birds in here. I know there's a bird in here. We're just going to sit here to 7, no matter what. But I could tell he's like, why isn't nothing gobbling? Mm-hmm. And so we sat there, and he started doing his little, like, so soft. Like, if a human was 50 yards away, you might not be able to hear him soft. Mm. And I was just like, Matt, it could be that the birds can't hear you, bud. Maybe that's the reason why they're not gobbling. But he called for a little bit. Nothing. So I was thinking, we're kind of wasting our time because we're in a different area than we were yesterday, and where we were yesterday, there were birds gobbling all over. And he just, he looked up and he's like, I know there's birds in here. We're sitting till 7. And I was like, all right. And we just sat there. About 6:20, he did another super soft, like 75 yards behind us. And he's like, he's coming. And so I get ready, turned over, and Father Wisdom's got the camera going. And he's like, they're running up. And all of a sudden, this hen comes out. And I was like, where are you at? And I look over, and you just see this white head, like ghost white head come up. And he's like, strutting up. And then he lets down, and then he puffs up and struts in a little bit and lets down. And he's looking around, and he started coming towards me. And the way it was set up is there's a couple trees here, another small oak tree, and then hardwood all behind me. And then it's fairly open and a big tree, and there's like some scrub and stuff in front of us. So I needed him to take about 4 more steps to where he's out in the open to where I could shoot him. But my dad panned off me to him, and he caught it.
Oh, jeez.
And he starts to turn, and I just hear Matt go, kill him, kill him.
Loud? Or just
Like that. Kill him now, is what he said. Kill him now. And he took 2 steps and went in that gap. He's about 35. Boom.
smoking?
Nice.
0 to hero, baby. Like nothing.
Yeah.
Not a gobble. Nothing. And I was just like, dude, Matt, we're wasting our time, bro. I know you want to sit here till 7.
Hey,
There's
never
not.
question Matt.
Okay, first of all, folks, you need to understand that Matt kills about 20 birds a year, turkeys.
He's the kind of guy that in his free time, he drives around looking for
for
The
birds.
amount of miles that dude puts on his truck a year is probably
Is insane.
absurd.
He's already hunted a few. He went to Hawaii already this year to hunt turkeys.
Well, what's his number? It's 38, 38 different, 36 different states with the birds.
36 different states
He's going for
with the bird.
49,
He's going. Yeah.
and he's well on his way.
I didn't
He's
even
well
know
on
that
his
was
way.
a thing. You hear like the turkey
You
slam,
hear of this
right?
turkey
the
slam.
5 species of turkey.
Yeah.
No. There's a thing called North American turkey.
Yeah, and
It's all
I don't
states.
know. I don't know as well as he does, and maybe there'd be people that disagree with him. But that's one thing that he told me when he walked up. He's like, dude, with Rios and Miriams in Utah, you're on your way to a slam. This is an Eastern. I was like, are you sure it's not one of the hybrid? He's like, no, this is a full-on Eastern. Look how dark his tail is.
Dude,
What?
Yeah, he's like, this
Dude.
totally would count as your Eastern.
There
So
you
I
go.
was like, well, I just need to go to Florida.
what are we doing?
And he's like, well, 180 Outdoors actually has a connection in Florida. And he's like, it's 100% success rate.
I like those odds.
I think you might even be able to do something.
I
with
think
those
I might
offers.
be able to kill a bird there. I think John and Jason might be able to kill a bird there, actually.
At this rate, I'm going
Hey,
36
hey.
Walmarts and buying frozen.
Hey, it's a little too soon. A little too soon. They can't
so-
even get nothing.
So that's the day. Just was like, it was 6:30, bird down, tag punched, photos. 6:35, we got photos, recapped the hunt, and we were on to the property that we had been hunting, and I was like, we got to tag out because I really want Matt to go with John and Jason bad, but we went to this spot. There were some jakes that we bumped, and we called, and they gobbled back there, and we started to go. There's an edge of a property that we can't hunt, and the bird that we've been hearing the most, like, hangs out right on the edge right there. And so we get to the bottom, and Matt throws up his glass. It's a huge, huge pasture. And he's like, oh, full strut right out in the middle. We got a bird. Full strut right out in the middle of the pasture. He's like, do you know that big tree I told you they like to hang out? And I was like, yeah. He's like, he's right under it. So he said, get behind me. And Matt has this turkey decoy that kind of looks like a stuffed turkey and then a real tail fan. Mm-hmm. And he's like, you two just get right behind me and stay right behind me. So he just holds that up, and we just buzz across this huge
You're
opening.
walking?
More like running.
Oh, so okay.
Not crawling.
I thought I
Yeah.
would be crawling or something. But
No, like
just
full on
straight up-
running, and he's holding it up, and then he stops and puts up the glass, and then we start running, and it kind of like cresses. There's this huge tree, and it crests, and he just went over it. So we book it. We get to that big tree, take our packs off, and start going, and he's like 300 yards out in the field in front of us, and we get to this. There's like a cedar tree and some scrub oak and stuff, and we're hiding there and glassing. He's got 2 hens with him, and Matt's like, dang, that's not good. They're like following him around. He's like, they're not sitting on nests probably. Like they still need to be bred. It's going to be hard to call them off. And he's like, oh crap, I think he saw us. Yeah, and I think he saw us. And we're like, really? And the tom kept strutting, and he was wanting to go up this draw, and the hens would not leave the fence.
What
and-
little hussies.
I know. And so then out of nowhere, a hen like 20 yards by us. Whatever, right? All the weird stuff. And Matt's like, this is gonna help us. This is gonna help us. Like, don't move. We can't bust her because she can pull him back. So we're sitting there, and those hens would not leave. The tom kept like going up and then coming back a little bit. And finally he's like, dude, they're coming back out into the field. We're going to get this bird. They're coming back into the field. He's like, that tree over there, they're either going to go there or they're going to swing all the way up there through this finger and come around. He's like, let me watch them for a minute. And we watched him, and he's like, let's go. And we're backing out. And we ran over this rise and then got around a ridge. And there's tons of thick trees and oak brush and cedars on top of it.
Hang on, I need one quick clarification, though.
Okay.
You got this decoy, but you guys are standing up, backing out. So
Yep,
are
it's
turkeys
just-
like the smartest, dumbest animal on planet
It's
Earth?
just to potentially fool them long enough for you
Hey,
to
that
get
turkey's
away.
got really long legs.
That's a big tom. Let's move it.
Or was it rolling enough to where you felt like it was
I think it
covered?
was rolling enough to where, and we don't, like, my back's still sore. We were like this most of the time, right?
Yeah.
So, but anytime it got open, even on the ridge, and we're no joke, probably like 450 yards away, he's like, behind me, like, get right behind me. He can see us from here. I was like, are you serious? And we'd get through, and he'd glass in there. He's like, yeah, they're going there. They're going there for sure. And my dad's like, this is the hunt I want. It was like spot and stock. It was awesome. So we like take off running down this ridge.
His headphones in.
He sure was listening to his book while packing the Beretta. And
Exactly what I wanted.
killing killers. This is my favorite hunt. So we start working around, and sure enough, the birds look like they're headed right up this draw. It's like this open grassy draw, and there's like a thicket in between us and them, but we have to go around this huge horseshoe rim, right? And Matt's just like, it's now or never. Like, you stay on my butt, but we've got to sprint to those trees. So we take off going, and when you see the footage, it's pretty. You're gonna be like,
Who's got a camera? You
Seth,
do,
were you
obviously, right?
holding a gimbal? No, dude, that was just my arm. I was just like sprinting, and you won't even tell. And so we make it to the trees, and Matt's like, stay here, I'm going to go up. And he goes up, and he waves us on, and they're nowhere to be found. We're like, what the heck?
Sounds like my day.
I know. And he's like, they probably cut under the fence and went up into this draw, super thick draw, big, huge oak trees. And so we go up there, call, nothing. Call, nothing. And then we called again. And nothing. So Matt's like, hey, let's go back to the lodge. We'll get some water. We'll get something to drink. And we'll come back. They like to hang out up here. So we get up. We walk like 30 yards. We're like, what the heck? He's right there. He's like right there. So Matt's like, he's like, he's coming. He's coming. Get under the cedar. So we sit down. I'm getting ready to film. Nothing. Like 10 minutes, nothing. So Matt's back there, really soft, just nothing. And then about when we're like, oh, never mind. And it's like a really loud one. And he's probably under 80 yards. But we're uphill from him, and we have a lot of things working against us. 2 hens that are already with him. And if he leaves them, Matt's like, if he leaves them, they'll just go. And he's going to have to win hens again. It's not like they're going to hang out with him. And 2, we're back where he had already come from. So we're pulling him back somewhere he already was instead of pulling him forward to where he's wanting to go. And so he's like, it's going to be hard, but I think he's coming. Because that last gobble was like violent, and it was under 80 for sure. So I'm just like, this is sweet. Oh, this is going to happen. We're going to like double up this morning. Perfect. And nothing, dude. Nothing. Just stone dead. Occasionally I can hear those hens down there just soft chirping and like purring. And I was like, those stupid hens are like holding him back for sure.
Yeah, speaking
so
of sweet nothings.
Matt texts me and he's just like, hey, I'm going to start walking away and just doing some calling. And I'll walk away and hopefully that will be enough to pull him up. And he did it and nothing. Want to know what was funny? Hey, let's just go back to the lodge. They're hanging out in here. We know where they're at. We'll come back later. Yeah, plan. Stand up. But he was a little further away in the draw. And it's, again, just this big horseshoe, really thick in the middle of it. And Matt's like, let's get on the rim. We'll go around. And we did, and we called, and nothing. And we're just like, let's leave. I don't know where he ended up going. But he bounced out of there.
Dude,
but it was fun,
hands.
dude. It was fun. Bird or nothing. That was a fun hunt.
For sure.
That sounds like a good day.
He'll be back in there tomorrow, too.
He will be. Yeah. Well, we're going to. So the plan tomorrow, spoiler alert, is we got a blind, and Matt said he's going to gather up a bunch of hen decoys, and we're going to go out in that field and just put a ton of hen decoys, and he's like, he won't be able to resist.
Look like a waterfowl spread.
He'll see him on the road and in the grass, and he's
going to leave
coming.
his 2 for a fake 7.
I know, which is a good lesson.
Poor guy.
Right?
Grass ain't always greener.
Be content with what you have.
2 in the hand is better than 7 in the bush.
That's right. That's right.
Get in the bush.
But how did everybody else's?
Before we get into that, because we want to save it for the podcast, let's end the live. But we want to do the beard.
Let's
guess.
announce the winner.
Who? Tom Schafer. What was the length of it?
Tom, what was it?
11 3/8.
That's correct.
11 and 3/8, bro.
Yeah, that's a
Dude,
good.
that was an inch longer than I thought.
All right, so we got an 11 and an 8 guess. So far,
when that
that's the
happens.
closest. Ooh,
11
and a half.
11 and a half?
Yep. 11 and a half.
Anybody go 11 and 3/8?
Can I get 11 and 3?
Let's see. So far, is
People are guessing now. 11 and 3/8. 11 and 3/8. I bet. Just by looking at
That's a
it.
good idea that we did it before because now we could say
Just by looking at it.
That's it. 11 and a half is the
Dude, and the
winner.
girth alone, my guy.
It's got great girth, Actually, Matt's like, it's kind of a thin beard, but it's long. I was like, I thought that was fairly normal.
He didn't have to tell you that.
I know, not in front of me, at least. I sense some jealousy.
11 and a half is the winner.
Who was it?
11 and a half.
Yep, let me scroll back up to it. It is Matt Neha. I don't want to mispronounce the name.
Another Matt.
Matt dot Neha. So let me tag him in here. And Matt, congratulations. You got a
awesome.
good guess
Matt,
on it.
Hey, give us
Congrats,
a
Matt.
Matt. Send you a hat.
Yeah, DM us your address and we'll send you a hat, Matt. Good guess.
Good stuff, Matt.
Shay.
As far as
Nope.
the live,
Dang.
we're gonna,
All right, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry, first live. So,
First
A
the
couple rookies, so
the start was rough for those of you who hung on.
We had late dinner, so
We did have late dinner.
Yes, we did. Okay, everybody, thank you.
Thank you, guys. All right, on that note, let's have an update. Maybe should we start with
Yeah, let's
start with John and Jason.
Okay. All right, that's it. Moving on.
We went to the property that we've already hunted 3 times and walked the entire length of it.
It's a big property.
No timeouts. What?
No, John. No, we went
somewhere new this afternoon.
No, John. This morning we went to somewhere new. That's where we set up.
Well, it's the same property. This is a new piece of the property. So we just looped. From where we went, we just made a bigger loop of it.
Yeah, as I understand it, that's like 2,500 acre piece.
Saw a turtle that didn't make it over the log that died.
Oh, that's
It was upside down.
Oh my gosh, that's so sad. Don't say that. On the
Sat
cutter
by the feeder
cast.
for a little while, and I found a tick going down my pants.
That was exciting.
the front or back?
That had to have been exciting.
Down the front.
Yeah.
He's only telling us the highlights,
It was a Lone Star. Oh, those things make me angry.
Yeah.
Hey, did we talk about ticks last night?
Just that we hate them, I think.
Yeah.
Did we talk
we
about
did
the
talk
fact
a little
that
bit
the
about
Lone Star's
ticks.
the one that gives you the crazy alligator?
I think
Okay.
It was mentioned, yeah.
Those are the ones we're definitely afraid of.
Yeah, dude. If I can't eat red meat, I will be taken out of this life.
Yeah, it would be tough to be a hunter. No, we'd still hunt, but
You can eat turkey.
I would just donate.
you can
donate.
you can eat it. You just gotta power through the vomiting afterward. No, dude, your tongue swells up
Yeah.
with a bite of red meat.
So a guy who got it, the doctors are like, if anytime you eat red meat, you could die.
Could you chew it and not swallow, though?
It wasn't like you'll have an
Yeah.
allergic reaction. It was you
If you
stand a chance
ingest
of
it.
dying. Yeah, if you ingest
Oh,
it.
boy.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but this dude, his tongue
His
swelled
tongue?
out of his mouth.
Out of his mouth. It looked like a steak was put in a full steak in his mouth. It was just his tongue.
Ironically, a full steak.
Like one of
full
those
steak,
rock,
not
like
even
one
a
of those
quarter.
Rock bass you pull up from 300 feet and they're
Yeah.
swim bottoms
No.
like.
Yeah, something like that.
What did you do today?
We saw some birds. We had a good opportunity at one and came into a caller.
By we, do you mean you?
Oh, that was my dad and I. He's here from Missouri, made the drive out here, and they turned us loose on, I don't know how many acres it is.
Was it further away? Because you were gone before we left.
It's about an hour away. It's about an hour away, so we left by 3:50-ish.
Yeah.
We were gone.
I think Papa Lowry sweet talked to the owner of this place, and he's like, "Hey, where's your honey hole?"
Well, we left a bird, too, that we hunted yesterday morning to go to this place, and we didn't know what was over there. But we left a couple over there tonight, too, so we should be able to pick them back up in the morning, I think.
So what happened?
But yeah, what happened? Let's not.
Yeah,
leave that out.
Did a successful job.
Yeah.
Of
So
like skimming the story, but not telling it.
I don't want to talk about
And
it. It's still
I
too
wonder
fresh.
why.
No, so we had a good bird come in, kind of blindsided us from where we thought he was coming in, and stayed within range at probably 35 yards, 40 yards, something like that, and skirted around me. And by the time I was able to swing my gun around the tree, he was probably 35 yards and moving away from me. So it was like I needed a shot now or never. And
Because he was going to the caller. Your dad.
he was my
right?
dad. Yeah, my dad had ended up moving about probably 50 yards behind me and was calling. And he saw those decoys and didn't pay him any mind. Just kind of kept wandering towards the caller. And I just knew if the decoys weren't bringing him in, he wasn't coming back. He was going to the call. So. Shot and we were talking.
He was running away from you in that little.
He was strutting. He was strutting.
Sprint.
He wasn't running.
Oh.
He was strutting, and he strutted the whole time, basically. And by the time I shot at him, he was probably at 35 to 40 yards, something like that, and hit him, and he went down, and I jumped up right away, take off after him. I knew I didn't feel super confident with the shot, but I felt like it was a high enough percentage shot that I wouldn't have taken it if it wasn't. And he kind of flew over the fence, over the road right there, maybe 100 yards away. And by the time I got over there, he was gone. So didn't recover him, knocked him good, but he's got CTE now. That's all that matters.
Went and showed his gals his new.
Yeah.
Isn't it kind of funny when they do that though? Like they strut for a very long distance. It's almost like, hey, look at me, I'm coming. You just wait right there. Check me out. Look at this. Look how big I am.
And we were talking. There's such a difference in how shells pattern. A different shell could have killed that bird. Where it might not have been the best shot that I've taken, but a different shell could have killed him certainly. So
especially that tungsten fire.
Well, I know people have strong opinions of that, and I'm kind of changing my mind on it. And again, not to like
With one bird?
No, with multiple birds, many birds, and then with a guy who kills 20 birds a year.
Oh, that's okay.
So,
Solid points.
2 weeks ago, my dad killed a bird in Utah. It was 54 yards away, going away, because it came, saw the decoys, was like, I don't like that, was starting to bounce. So he rolled around the backside of the tree, shot it at 54 yards, stone dead. He was using an over and under we gave him for his birthday. He had never shot it at like an animal, right? And he's like, I want to use this. And he shot the under barrel instead of the over barrel. And on the over barrel, he had a 4 and 5 shot load, mixed load. On the under barrel, he had 8 shot. So he shot 8 shot, a skeet load, 54 yards, stone dead. Stone dead. Then today, I shot my bird with 6 shot. Just a standard federal 6 shot load. Then I was like, so Matt, you use that SST? Like you kill a ton of birds? And he's like, no way, I'm way too cheap. These are what I use. He shoots Winchester 6 shot. Longbeard 6 shot, which is the exact same load as the federal load I shot today.
choke.
Just a standard, with a full choke or a turkey choke, whatever you have. So I know some people are super like, no, you got to have that tungsten or you got to have that SST. I think we've never shot heavy shot at turkeys. We've always killed them. And last week, today, and a guy who kills 20 birds a year also shoots and they're not 3-inch, they're not magnums. They're 2 and 3/4.
I'm thinking about using a
Pounded
6.5
down.
Creedmoor.
You actually might need to at this point.
Or that full auto BB gun.
Before you
But
start
I-
changing
from a
weapons, though,
I know
you gotta
that
get
is
into the
true.
birds.
Yeah.
That would help. That would
Then you
help.
can switch weapons around.
Yeah.
I know a ton of people have said that. Shooting different loads through the gun and seeing how they pattern and how significantly different each load would pattern.
Yeah. So I patterned the shotgun last year and haven't shot it since. And it's odd how vastly different the loads shoot.
Yeah.
Same shells, same box of shells, and they shoot different. But that's hunting.
That's hunting. That's hunting. What happened with you guys?
Oh, man.
Well, we went back to the same piece of farm that we've been to the whole time. Felt like we had a good game plan.
Yeah.
We know where the birds are in the morning. So we got in there in dark, got to our spot, probably had about 45 minutes before light. But it was blowing like crazy again this morning, and we couldn't hear, like just the wind whipping against our ears. And yesterday morning, he and I snuck down into the tree line, and the wind was a lot less. Big time reduction. So we were able to hear, and I thought, well, I'm going to sneak over to the edge, get out of the wind so I can hear the birds. And him and Locke stayed up kind of top in the clearing. I went down in there, and I'm just enjoying the morning, you know, all the little Tweety birds just going nuts.
Schafer's just like, this is really beautiful.
Well, we're sitting on the field on this field edge, and it's a wall of trees, and it like naturally drops down inside the wall. But there's this big barn door size opening in the trees, and the grass kind of gradually slopes down. Like if you're a critter, that's the
where you're
path
going.
of least resistance. You're going to go there. Does it look good? So Schafer, same thing, was drawn to it, walks over to it, sit there. What'd you do? You pulled your phone out.
Well, I sat there for a while, and then I was like, this is pretty. Like, sun's coming up, all these Tweety birds are making all their songs. So I grab my phone, and I just kind of like do a slow pan. And I get to about 3/4 of my pan, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I start panicking hardcore, because they're like 60 yards. They're right there. And so
Locke starts cursing his name.
yeah, I don't know that. So I'm like backpedaling, like as slow but as fast as I can, right? Like, come on, get back. And I turn around, and Locke's like, get down. And I'm like, oh crap. So I just like went straight backwards on my pack. I'm just laying there. I'm like trying to take my backpack off. And my neck is just cramped. I'm laying down in the grass, and I look into the trees. There's this giant tree, and there are birds all over the limbs. And I swear we're like making eye contact. It's
a real special moment.
You just blew it, right? Well, I'm pointing the Locke back here. I don't know if he's on camera. He thought I was going to be able to just like turn around and belly crawl backwards, but I felt like I was pinned, right? There was no moving for me. So I just laid there and I was like, just tough it out, dude. Your neck's going to be fine. You're going to be all right. Just tough it out.
What was funny is he was wearing the yellow canvas cutter hat, and I could see it through the grass, and every once in a while I'd just see it start to slowly go back, and the brim would go up like he's doing his neck around, and then it would go back. That's exactly what I was doing.
But I was pulling out my binos and I was looking at the birds, and I'd seen 3 of them really good. I had
Pretty bird.
a huge Jake, biggest Jake body I've ever seen, but he just had a little stubby beard straight out of his chest. And then there was a hen, and then I think a decent gobbler. I think it wasn't 11 3/8.
11 3/8 was that beard lock.
It was probably like close to 8 inches or so. I don't know. I thought, oh, that's a good bird. Like, I'd shoot him for sure. And I just laid there until they got antsy enough and flew out of roost. And I thought they were going to fly over me if they didn't see me. Because Locke was just on the call, just scratching away at them. But they didn't. They flew away to the other side. And once they did that, I just hurried, belly crawled back. We set up, and we had one hen just going nutso, basically fighting us to keep her family together. Mm-hmm. But I wasn't set up next to you guys for longer than 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, it wasn't very long.
And we see this little.
Well, he gobbled a couple times, and it was getting progressively
Well, he
closer.
did gobble, but I didn't feel like it was closer. All
The
of a sudden,
last
it
one,
just like
when he was coming up the hill, was close.
yeah, that's true.
It was loud.
Yeah.
And then Locke, he freaking, I mean, obviously doing this so many times, but he knew exactly. He says, get ready. He's going to come up, but he's going to peek. He's not going to just come walking up. He's just going to peek. And Schafer and I both got shotguns on the knee, like ready to
I
roll.
had my beat up.
Yeah,
like, I was ready.
We were ready to rock and roll. And sure enough, he comes up, but Schafer and I were sat in kind of an angled thing where he had to clear this tiny little bush, and all Schafer and I could see was just a gray, bluish head. That's all we could see.
I thought it was a hen.
But Locke, we didn't know this, but Locke was zoomed in on him and knew it was a tom as soon as it showed itself. But by that time, he sure enough, just like Locke said, he lifted his head up, looked around, saw something he didn't like, and turned. And
Schafer, he saw Schafer.
I don't care who you are. They are smart birds.
Oh man!
I know in the West they have this awkward rap of like, you hunt turkeys, that's so dumb. Dude, get out of your truck, stop road hunting them.
Yes.
And get out of your truck and go hunt them. They are intelligent,
Yes.
and they're difficult to hunt.
They're
man.
very difficult.
It was like it was a weird deal. If Locke was on a gun, he would have killed that bird because he saw Tom got a shot, boom. But by the time it would have been communicated, hey, it's a Tom, shoot it, and then relay it to us in that short amount of time, he freaking. But it was cool because he also didn't bolt out of there.
Yeah.
He just saw, I don't like it. I'm not coming out of this forested hedge down here. I don't want to try it.
Well, I think you guys would probably do better on our property. Maybe we swap.
I think so too.
Screw that one up.
I completely agree.
What it was, we didn't want to say it, but what it was is he came up and we didn't like him. We just like,
His beard wasn't long enough.
We just threw
I
it
thought
down.
it was
It's
a
only
hen.
about an 8.5
But
inch
it
beard.
was a weird deal because as white and blue, the head
Yeah.
looked like a hen. Just
It was still super early too,
was
so
weird, yeah.
it was kind of that darkish gray background behind him.
yeah,
And
it was
I just
weird.
saw a gray head, and I was like, "Here's the hen coming," and then all of a sudden, spin and gone, and Locke's like, "Why didn't you shoot him?" We're like, "That's a hen." No,
So,
I
hey,
saw the beard.
Would you guys have
Oh,
shot
no.
if you'd known? You only saw how much of his head, right?
Like I said, if either one of us were sitting in Locke's position and saw beard, I would have shot. I know.
No,
I
but I'm
could've
saying,
shot.
do you feel like you saw enough of the bird?
No,
Where we were sitting, no.
I saw 3 inches ahead. That's all I needed.
That's all you
Okay,
need.
but let's say you had I'm just curious, like, do you feel like you had enough of a shot? If you knew it was a tom,
If you could have
you would have
taken
taken
it
it, like,
by
walked
Seth
through the
color.
bush or
Yeah,
whatever?
that,
Okay.
that bush was teeny.
It was
Okay,
20
that's what I was
yards
wondering.
probably, too. It wasn't.
Well, I ranged it and it was 30.
Oh, it was.
It's 30 yards.
So next
Okay.
time
That's what
you
you're aiming
shoot
for.
and figure sex later.
We
Yeah.
could do that. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, that
Yeah, it was.
was pretty much the bulk of our day.
Yeah, and then
But-
everything kind of just tapered off from there. We scrambled around trying to find, because there was kind of 2 options. The birds could have squirted out this way to, right down the draw or left down the draw. So we were just like, well, let's see where they went, and circled around a couple times really, and never really saw.
We
anything.
circled around and came back to that same spot. We walked up right where I was laying was exactly where that turkey. He would have stepped right on me.
Yeah,
so crazy.
Yep.
But so we're sitting there and Locke's calling down that draw, trying to get that thing to echo down through there and get a strike.
Oh jeez.
He's over there on planet
I'm
Mars,
sleeping.
sleeping again.
This is
He's
slowly
such an
becoming a
alpha
theme of this,
sleeper.
huh?
Yeah. So
we were just stopped and we said, well, let's just hang out and see if they'd circle back, because there's also a pond, and we're like thinking maybe some of them want to come up to the pond for water in the morning. So we sit down and I'm like, all right, well, we're gonna just relax. I sit down and I'm sleeping.
I'm
Sure
not
enough,
going to sleep.
close my eyes.
So I got that video and the gobbler on my video, right?
On your
And
phone.
I didn't know what it sounded like, so I flip open my phone and I'm scrolling through. I hit play. I got the volume up. I'm listening, and then it gets to that point. And it's like,
Dude, it sounded so real because I'm sleeping. And it jolted me up, and I'm like, there's a gobbler. Let's go, boys. Lock full
Locke's sitting
on.
like right in front of me, and he turns. He's like, "Man, SOB's in the field right behind us." And dude, he had his tripod and camera like out in the clearing,
Like 10
in
yards
the
behind
open.
us.
And he spins and wheels and starts belly crawling through the grass just as fast as he can go. Meanwhile, homie's trying to come back to earth, so he's like,
I wake up and Locke flies by me like a mama bear, just whoom through the brush trying to grab his camera. And I'm scrambling, and Schafer's like, film it.
I'm sitting there going, film him, because I realized that I had just pulled the ultimate prank on him, right?
Not knowing.
Not knowing.
So I'm like, oh, I got it. Film him. And he's scrambling, and he grabs it. And I'm rolling on my back, dying laughing. I can't even breathe. And I hear Locke go, "What's wrong with you? Grab him again!" Making me laugh so hard. I was dying. And then finally he's like, "What is going on?" Because I am like, just passed out laughing.
He literally couldn't get his words out for a minute. It was funny.
Oh my gosh! And then he realized it was a prank, and he's like, "You got me good. You got me good." His heart rate was pinging. Like, he was up there. He was jacked up on
Oh,
that.
he's a killer. He's a killer, dude.
Oh, man, it was
It was so funny.
That's awesome.
If that makes it into the final edit, we're gonna have to use the beat button. There
Oh,
for,
yeah.
for a hot minute. he was not stoked about it.
Yeah. So anyway,
EJ.
Sounds like we definitely need to switch properties.
EJ murdered a bird the first day, but you got to still do a little turkey hunting. What
Yeah, I
happened
got
today?
a little. Got invited to go down to Oklahoma since I already filled my tag in Kansas. So went down there today, and we were kind of getting onto the property and saw 2 birds right in the middle of this gigantic field over by an old house that's rotting away. But it was cool. Got the binos out. Saw the one starting to strut around. We're like, cool. So we kind of go around the hill, and, in the meantime, like, Matt's like, hey, did you get your tag? And I'm like, no, Locke said you had it. You were going to take care of that. No, you need to get it. Cool. All right, well, what are we going to do? Yeah.
Not
So-
Oklahoma.
Right? Yeah, man, this is my first time. Anyway, so we climb up this hill, and so we can see if we can get service and stuff like that. And we get up to the top, and I'm sitting here, like this, trying to like get high, and finally I get some, I get a bar. And so I pull up the sight. It's just going slow. It's going slow, and then all of a sudden, And I was ready to like drop the phone and be like, let's go. But then at the same time, I'm like, I got to do this tag. So I'm like trying to hurry. Matt's like, it's okay. We heard them. They're down there. You got a little bit of time. And then so I started going together, and all of a sudden, and then not just a few seconds later, another one. And so I'm freaking out, going, oh my gosh, like we gotta go.
Concentrate. My social security number is.
And so that was exciting. We started kind of making our way down.
So you got your tag purchase.
Yeah, we finally got the tag purchase. Making our way down, and heard a few other gobbles on the way down, and I was really excited. I was really pumped that I was gonna get a good chance of getting another bird. And so, but we get down and we kind of set up, and not a word. We started calling, nothing. So we started just walking the property, and we got there kind of late anyways. And
Do you know what happened? You got your tag.
Yeah. That's
exactly. That's what Matt said too. He's like, yeah, they kind of sense that stuff. I don't know. But we started walking the property. Beautiful property. Holy cow. This old, cattle ranch type setup. Tons of property. Like 18,000 acres or something crazy like that, right?
That's a city.
It was a gigantic, just land all over. So, so we started walking it. We walked around and didn't really see anything. Saw a ton of tracks though. And when we kind of made our way back, we never heard another bird for the rest of the day, and so we kind of just headed back. But plan is to go there tomorrow morning, get there bright and early.
Dude, if you can get two birds.
Two states on one trip.
Meanwhile, we got John and Jason that haven't seen a bird.
How do you get John?
Look at John.
Where do these invites come from? How does one get invited to Oklahoma?
You need to put the mic up.
You got to
there.
tag out.
I was
Yeah,
tagged
tag
out
out
from
from
my
my
neck. Tagged out on the first day.
Here.
You got to quit tipping turtles over. And start working. Yeah, that's karma, dude.
Quit turtles.
I promise you, John and I, not that this matters in turkey hunting, but we have walked more than probably most of you combined.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, because we've only got about.
Because we've been on we've been on big properties, and we've gone all over looking, listening.
Colin.
I think what Corey said is the best.
What?
So far, I think we've all tagged out on the North American tick slam.
Oh, dude, yeah. For sure. We are.
It makes sense though when you're laying on the ground sleeping that they
When
crawl
you're
all
laying on
over
the
you.
ground sleeping, it does make
matter-
sense that
it's a-
you would have more
it's a matter
than if
of
you're
saying,
actively
well,
hunting.
I pulled 15 off me today.
I don't know why they're just so bad.
Power in them.
Hey,
Well,
I've come a long way on this trip with ticks though.
So have I.
When we showed up and they're like, "There's ticks everywhere,"
I was freaking
we
out.
both were like, "This is not."
I'm not
good.
a tick dude.
No.
But you put that permethrin on there and a little DEET. I haven't had a tick on me.
Folks, we are poster boys for permethrin now.
Yeah.
Like, get that stuff.
Yeah.
I
soak
think
your clothes,
we're probably going to
let
do a
it dry
canvas cutter
completely.
commercial
We'll
about
see
it.
you in the oncology lab.
Exactly.
Canvas cutter commercial.
Yeah.
Well,
Have you or a loved one been affected by
I think we need to wrap this up due to time.
Are you sick of both your testicles? Let's get one of those removed. Brought to you by Permethrin.
All right. This is a kid-friendly show.
I'd rather lose a nut than lose that knee.
Yeah, that's true.
Totally
That's
agree.
true. They make marbles for a reason, right? Anywho, I guess we'll do an update tomorrow. Tomorrow's our last
Tomorrow's
full
a
day
big day.
hunting,
Tomorrow's a
and
big
the
day.
next day we're driving back home. So tomorrow's
we're all gonna
important.
have beards.
We have several tags to punch tomorrow. I think we're gonna punch a few more though.
I got a
tomorrow.
feeling
We're gonna go hard or go broke.
I'm shooting anything with wings.
I like it.
Dude, come back with a trophy turkey buzzard.
Dude, there was multiple buzzards we could have got today.
We
Just
saw-
flying
We
around.
saw a cute little cardinal today that would look cool fanned out.
Oh yeah. Cardinal tail. And that's the says 11 3/8 inches.
That's right. All right. We'll see you
Until
tomorrow. Update
Tomorrow it is.
Yep.
All right, I hope you enjoyed that episode. Got a little crazy there at the end, but we were running off of fumes at day 2. I mean, the total trip, I think I calculated about 9.5 hours of sleep for the whole trip, so that's special. Check this out, though. Want to know what else is special? That's a 11 3/8 turkey beard right there, straight Eastern too. It's not the Rio Eastern hybrid that they have over there. That's a straight Eastern. Helps me on my way to getting my turkey slam, which is pretty exciting. Remember that tomorrow is the day 3 recap, so don't miss that. And don't forget, we're coming out with the video of the hunt that you're gonna wanna see. Got some amazing footage of the land there at 180 Outdoors, the lodge, and more importantly, some turkey hunting action, which you're not gonna wanna miss. But until tomorrow, bye.